Hello and welcome. In this video, I will try to cover a VM, storage, network, and hardware. I will quickly go through all of them. So let's start with the virtual machine or VM. We can simply go from the drop-down menu in the middle and select VM. As you can see over here, we have only the information related to virtual machines. So I have a couple of virtual machines, Windows and Linux. This is the two actual virtual machines which are available in this cluster. Here in the middle, if we select the include controller VM or the CVMs, we can see the available CVMs in my cluster. As you can see, I have three CVMs. That means I have three nodes in my cluster. We have the VM name, host. As I said, we have three CVM. That means I have three hosts. So you can see the names for the hosts are available here as well. And for my virtual machines, you can see they're available on which host at the moment. IP addresses on my virtual machines, I do not have any IP addresses. I just have created them for this lab. The number of the cores assigned to each virtual machine is available here as well. Memory capacity, how much memory is available for each virtual machine. Let me just remove this one. We don't need the CVMs. And then we have the storage. So as right now, you can see out of 20 GB which is assigned to this virtual machine, only 3.5, 3.2 GB is consumed. Same down here, you can see almost 9.5 or 10 GB assigned, consumed from 40 GB which is assigned to it. And then we have this normal CPU usage, memory, and the rest of the metrics which is available. The same metrics you can find over here. So let me select one of the Linux, let's say, virtual machines on the left side. Again, the same information, you can see it from here, from the left side. And on the right side, we have, if I select on VM performance, if let's say and client comes to you and says, for example, they are feeling some latency or some slowness, you can see from here simply by just selecting that virtual machines, and just you can see the CPU usage, memory, controller IOPS, and the rest of the metrics, which you can see if really there is a slowness available on that particular virtual machines. Obviously, you can go on top on the host level as well, but this is like all the metrics. You will be able to see it from one screen and one location. If you go to virtual disk, you will see all the virtual disks created on top of that virtual machines. Right now, we have only one. If I go for the VM NICs virtual machines, if there is any NICs or how many NICs are available there, this one is only one, so you can see that only one NIC is available over here. VM snapshot, if we have any virtual a snapshot for this particular virtual machines. So this one I just took it right now again for the lab. As you can see, if I go to details, it will I can see all the details which was taken at that time when I took the snapshot. And if I have changes from that time, I can revert back those changes if I don't want to revert back to that particular snapshot. We can do the cloning as well. You can just simply clone this virtual machine. So mine is like 01. I can select this one as a clone, let's say, and then save it. At the background, we'll go ahead and try to clone it, and I can restore my to this particular snapshot. If I click on restore, it will ask me, are you sure? And then I can do it. I don't want to do it right now. And I can delete the snapshot as well. Okay, what else is there? VM tasks, whatever tasks I have done on this particular virtual machine, it will show me over here, and if it was completed or no. Again, we have some IO metrics here at this locations, which I will not go through them. And then the console of the virtual machines. We can just go from here, or simply if I click over here and launch console, it will show me that I'm inside these virtual machines. Okay, VM clone is done, and this is my clone as well. So that's all for the explaining the menu under the virtual machine. I do not want to go deep inside the creating the virtual machines. I will create another video for this one, for this purpose of creating the virtual machines. So let's go to the next one, which is a storage. Again, in the storage, everything you can see in the single pane, all the information you need related to the storage. Storage summary, cluster-wide controller, IOPS, cluster-wide controller, input-output, BW, and the latency. For me, the main thing is this latency. If your latency is above 25, as it is mine, then there is a bit slowness, and you have to look into that. My cluster is actually it's nested virtual machines. I mean, I have created 3 virtual machines on top of one physical server, which is again it's hosted on top of the VMware. So this is normal for me because it's a lab. But usually at the productions, you should not see this much of the slowness. It should be below 20-25%. Sorry, 20-25 millisecond. If it's above that, that means you seriously have some sort of slowness, which you have to look into it. Here we have the capacity optimizations, 1:1 almost, which is not that much. And again, it's a lab and I don't have that much of a workload on top of it, so I ignore this one. Storage hour provisioned, I don't have that much, so it's fine again here as well for me. Cache duplications is shown over here, and then the rest of the metrics which is available over here. I do not have any critical alerts, neither warnings, so that's why it's empty over here. Okay, we can come over here to the diagram, and then we can see how much is actual storage available for my cluster and how much I have used so far, which is around 55% of it. Actually, it's 5% out of almost 1 TB. So 51 GB I have used. I was thinking that no way I have used 50% of it. So here again we have this physical, free physical and the use physical. How much is it? And then snapshot, how much snapshot I have. And then the capacity of the physical over here. We can see the storage pool and the name of the containers which currently available. I did not create any container, but in case if you want to create a container, you can simply just go on the storage container, test, and then the pool obviously will be only one pool available inside the Nutanix, or as my current configuration. We can go over here and change this advanced settings, reserve capacity if you want this particular container have a specific size available for it at all time, then you can provide, let's say, 10 GB or 100 GB. Right now I have only 1 TB, so obviously I cannot go above 1 TB. But once you do that, this particular capacity will be reserved for this particular container, and it won't be used by other containers. Advertised capacity means once you put a size over here, this container will be able to see only this particular GB, let's say 100 GB. That means this container will not see more than 100 GB and will only see 100 GB. Normally by default compressions enabled with delay in 0. We can enable the duplications and erasure coding. Obviously, for erasure coding, you need the minimum number of 4 nodes, which I do not have over here with me right now. And then obviously, I can allow file system allow this in case you want to allow a specific outside nodes to have access to this particular container. Normally, you do that for the third-party backup solutions, or in case you have some other physical service needs to have access to this particular storage container. So I do not want to enable any of them. I'll just go with the default and then save. So I will have another container available for me. Okay, and then down here we have this usage summary, performance summary. Again, the same metrics which we saw on the first page. You'll be able to see it over here. Storage alerts, if in case you have any alerts, you'll see it here, and storage events. Let's go to the table. Storage container. Okay, perfect, because that could be because maybe the home lab which I'm on top of it and the switch which is there could be having an issue. Yes. Okay, let me pause the video for a second. Okay, I'm back. Sorry for that. Actually, my switch, my home lab switch restarted, so I have to fix that problem as well. Anyway, so we are back again here on table. As you can see under the storage container, we can see all the default containers which are already available here, and the tests. As you can see over here, the free capacity, same as the rest of them, because we did not put the limitation over there. And as you know, the container will consume all the available physical space unless we put the advertised capacity for it. So the rest of them are again available as a table base over here. Reserve capacity again 0, maximum capacity which currently is using or can be used on each one of them is mentioned over here. Control IOPS and control IO BW and control IO latency. So 2.64, it's fine, but if it goes above 20, that means 2025, that means there is a latency available, and it has to be fixed. Under the volume groups, I do not have any volume groups available at the moment, but obviously you can create a volume group anytime you want. Just provide a name and the rest of it over here. So it's really easy. You can provide a volume group in case you have, let's say, Windows cluster and or Linux cluster, and you need a sort of like volume groups to be created, and you can create a volume group and share it with the physical servers which are outside your Nutanix cluster. Obviously, if you go for the volume groups and you are using it for the outside of the cluster, then it's recommended that you do that or publish it through the iSCSI data service IP. So you will just put the IP, and whenever you're pointing it from the outside for the nodes which are not inside the Nutanix cluster, and you will point it to this one, to iSCSI data service IP. And through iSCSI data service IP, it will Nutanix cluster will schedule it and will map it to the particular CVM which is available. So never put it to the specific CVM, and always you should always do it through the iSCSI data service IP, and Nutanix smartly will map it to that particular CVM which is available for that particular volume group. Okay, that's all. And then over here we have a storage pool. Again, we'll see the same numbers available here. Down here you have clear recyclable. In case you want to clear the recyclable, you can do that. I don't want to do this. So basically, what you will do over here is you're going to permanently erase deleted variants, and this action cannot be undone. Normally, if you delete the virtual machines, it will retain it inside the cluster. I think for 24 hours, if I'm not mistaken. So by this actions, you're going to delete it from here. It will be deleted. Okay, that's all for the storage sections. Let's jump to the network. Okay, so in the network here, we do not have that much of, let's say, configuration. I mean, if you want to do any configuration for network, and of course, if you have the AHV on top of your Nutanix AOS, You have to go here inside the settings, and then from the network configuration or network switch, you can do whatever you want to do. If you want to create the subnets, the stuff will be from here. But under the settings, if we go inside the network, we will have this kind of like a graph that it will show you. For example, if I select my Linux, okay, if I first hover mouse on top of it, I can see that it's connected right now to which particular host and where it's going. And because I do not have enabled the visibility to the top tier switch, I over here is showing data unavailable. But obviously, if I enable the little DP on top of the switch ports, we can get some visibility on top of the top tier or top rack switch. So again, if I go over here, I can see that it's been hosted on this particular host and this one on top of this particular host. And each CVM will be obviously hosted on different hosts. And one more thing, if I select over here, that particular VM, I can see how many NIC is available, or which NIC is going through which particular subnet, and the rest of the information which is available for each virtual machine NIC. And again, we have this graphs over here, which we can use to troubleshoot in case we have some errors available on top of the that particular virtual machines. All of this information can be seen through the CLI as well, but as you can see here, from one location we can look into all this informations, and if it needed, we can dig in through the CLI for more investigations. Another thing from here, we can filter it in case you have multiple subnet. You will come to know how many virtual machines available in each subnet. So this graphs will be visible, and it gives you more visibility inside each for each VLAN. One more thing, if I select over here, we can see the CVMs. We can see all the information for that particular CVM. Again, we can see over here the metrics feature we can use to investigate and troubleshoot the issues in case if we are facing any issues over the network. And then we have this visibility over here inside the virtual switch. Kind of like what is the bone type right now? Obviously, I have active backup because mine is a virtual machine. So you can have active backup, you can have LACP balance and LACP TCP. So mine is active backup. But as you can see, I have my virtual switch is shown over here, the bridge name, which is the default one, and the bond type and MTU. Again, the same information we can see over here for the internal bridge, which is available, the default one, bond, and all this information again is shown over here. That is going right now through the 10 GB. But as you can see over here, I have two more NICs which are not being used available at now. So I'm just now using one NIC, but I have two unused NIC. Okay, let's jump into the hardware now. That was all for the network. As you can see inside the hardware, we have the information related to the hardware and hardware summary. How many hosts we have, how many disks are available, SSDs, and the normal hard disk. It's seeing all my disk as a SSD, but I have selected some of them as a HD, but right now it's not known to it. But if you have productions, definitely you will see, if you are using a hybrid, you will see SSD and HDD populated over here. So right now for me, it's only showing 6 SSD. And then we have the CPU usage. How much is the current CPU usage, which is around almost all of my around 90 gigahertz is there for the CPU, and the memory. what is the total memory available for my cluster. Here in the sections you can see what is the version of your AHV. Mine is community edition, so it's shown over here. Again, here we have the top host per disk IOPS and different metrics which are available. Memory usage, which is available for each host. And then we have down here the CPU again. Right now I have only 3 servers, but if you have more servers, then you will be able to differentiate which hosts are using the higher amount of the CPU, memory, or disk. I do not have any hardware critical events, so that's why it's empty over here. Let's go to the table. The same information will be available here, but this is table based. So host name, host IP, CVM, CVM IP, hypervisor. If it's kind of like a VMware, it will show you over here. CPU usage, CPU capacity, memory usage, memory capacity, and total disk usage for each node available inside my cluster is shown over here. If I go to disk, again, you will see, and it will be one by one. It's shown over here, and how much is used for each particular disk. If I go to switch, I will see the switch available here. As I said, I do not have any visibility inside my switch, so I don't have any information available here. Okay, so let's go back to the host. I select one of this, the host, so you might be interested in all those alerts which are showing for me. So if I go back again here, you might see a few alerts available for me. Most of them are related to the password, default password. So if I go back again to the hardware, you will see that under the host alerts that it's my password. I have to change it. It's using the default password, and this is kind of critical because if you look at it as a security perspective, which Nutanix really put a deep magnifier on those security findings. So as per the NCC, this is a critical finding. So you have to update the default password. I will do this later, so I'm not going to change it, but I just wanted to show you what is this one. And then I have one info that it recommends that instead of using the password, I should use it SSH access, a passwordless SSH access. Okay, so I will not do this mitigation now, maybe in the different video. Here on the left side again, I have selected one of the hosts. I can see all the information related to that particular host, such as the host type, host name, hypervisor IP, CVM, node serial number. And if it was a productions, you would have seen the IPMI IP available here. You could have clicked on it and go, and it would have launched the IPMI console for you. Obviously, you would have put the IP on top of it. And then we have the block serials, block model, storage capacity, and disk and memory, and the rest of the information which is shown over here. And that's all. What else? Okay, from here we can do, we have some other options. We can turn on LED in case you have your physical servers are available inside the rack usually, which you will put obviously. And if in case you want to remove one particular host or you want to remove the network from it, you can just turn on LED, so it will turn on this blue LED, as far as I know and I remember, which will be blinking from the backside. And based on that one, you can do the whatever troubleshooting you want to do on top of that particular host. So you can differentiate between that host with others, because usually node will come inside this block chassis, so which can take up to 4 nodes. So you can differentiate which one needs to be troubleshooted. And then again, you can turn off LED. You can put the host inside the maintenance mode. If in case it's on top of it, it's AHV, it will automatically migrate the virtual machine off from that particular host. It will put the CVM inside the maintenance mode. It will shut down the CVM for you, and it will put that particular host inside the maintenance mode for you. And once you do that from the GUI, and you have finished your maintenance activity for that particular host, you have to come back again from the GUI and remove the host from the maintenance mode. You should not do that from the CLI if you have enabled the maintenance mode from the GUI. So both of the activities, putting inside the maintenance mode and taking it out from the maintenance mode, if you're doing from GUI, you have to do it from GUI. And if you're doing from CLI, you have to do it from CLI. And here we have this repair host boot device in case you want to, you get this instructions from the Nutanix support to do it. You will be able to do it from here. Okay, that's all from for the storage, network, and hardware. I will try to cover file server, data protections, analysis, and alerts and tasks in a separate or different video. Thank you for watching.